Hello guys, from this channel. Today I'm gonna review Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, and not much to say. Go check my Tarantino stuff, and let's get started. Starting off with the good, and as a whole, I think the story for this one actually worked. Where you have Indiana Jones getting involved with this Dial of Destiny, something he had kept in for like many years, and then it kind of getting sort of brought back or needed to be brought back again for like to go on this adventure. I think as a whole, I think that actually kind of works where like he's just having like a reason to be brought back. It's just like he's not brought back out of nowhere, and then also involves like his goddaughter and whatever. And the villain I think is pretty good, played by Mads Mikkelsen, where he's motivated by both luxury and revenge. And I think it's kind of interesting to see a character like that. I think he actually really works as the villain here. I think he's one of the better villains of the franchise as a whole. And I think Harrison Ford, he kind of brings it. I think he does a good job in this movie, and it's interesting to see him where like if you compare him into like the first one, he seems to be very desirable about like the people, but then when you see him as like this old man, he's like no one cares about him at all. He's just ready to retire, and it's just like interesting to see him in that sort of phase of life. And yeah, I think as a whole, I think that worked. But at the same time, it's not really, I feel like, the same when you see him as an old man. It's like, I think the fun part about the franchise is that like it's like this sort of fun guy, this fun, like everyone wants to be Indiana Jones. That's like the fun part, which I feel like that's kind of lost here, but I still think it works. There is a little bit of CGI use, sure. It's hard to imagine like an 80-year-old actually doing this, but I think it still sort of works because I think it's just kind of entertaining, and the CGI is not as like noticeable. There's not like stupid ants or monkeys and like there was in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which is what kind of ruined it as a whole. But I think overall, I enjoyed it. I think it just worked, but like it was that. But I can't talk. There was a whole lot of issues. First of those issues, I think the ending is really kind of what ruins it here. Where like you have, I'm gonna spoil the movie. I'm just gonna know that. It's where you have Mads Mikkelsen. He gets the dial and he travels back in time on an accident to Archimedes' time during like the Roman War, and then you're expecting like something big to happen, but it just all feels like very like normal and just mundane by the end, because like nothing like overly exciting happens. Like he's about to have this whole conversation with Archimedes. Archimedes is about to tell Indiana's thrown something, but it never happens. And then there's this whole thing where Indiana Jones wants to stay there because it's cool to see history, and you're like, what? And so, like, there's so much of questionable things, and then it just ends on a very weird note. So I thought the ending was probably the worst part. Another thing also, there's a bunch of some of the other side characters, like Helena, Teddy, like the other side characters, I think might be the weakest of any of the Indiana Jones films. Where I feel like the side characters are usually a lot of fun. Or, I don't know about, maybe not Temple of Doom, like the partner characters. But here, I feel like the person, she's just very, like, arrogant and just kind of annoying, especially in that scene in Morocco where, like, she's trying to sell you a big artifact off, and you're like, come on. You sort of see why she's doing it, but she just won't stop. And she's just super arrogant. It's just, like, just not, I just don't care for the character at all. And then Teddy, I just find, like, it's like, alright, he's just kind of annoying. It's just, like, in some ways a repeat of Short Round from Temple of Doom. But overall, I don't think this movie was bad at all, but like I just think it could have been better. And also there's still some of that CGI problems. Like you have that cool opening scene actually with CGI Harrison Ford, and which I actually thought that scene was actually a lot of fun. But then like you can also notice the CGI when they're on top of the train. So some of those issues from Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, not as bad though. And overall, it just didn't come to a satisfying close. I was like, there are some like tension filled moments right before that where like you might think, oh wait, is Indy gonna die? Maybe sacrifice himself to save the dial. But then like he wants to stay back during so there's like a whole bunch of character things that just go on near the end, and then you didn't even get like a whole resolution with the marionette story. It just kind of cuts off itself. I thought just that was super weird. And third problem, it's also just a little bit, or fourth or fifth, I don't know. It's a little bit too long. It's like 2 hours and a half. I don't think it needed to be that long. You could have trimmed out some bits of the action sequences, bits of development, because like by the time I ended, I was like, how much is left? So like, I think, yeah, I was too long. But as a whole, I think it was still pretty good. For this movie's final score, I'm going to give it a 6.8 out of 10. I don't think it was bad at all. I think actually it was pretty good. But of all the Indiana Jones movies, this is one of my least favorites. But as a whole, it wasn't terrible. So let me know what you thought about this movie in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment down below. And see you guys next time. Adios. And by the way, soon you'll be seeing a ranking of all the Indiana Jones movies. Just want to note that.